Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. Wow, this is going to be an episode and a half. Might have to be multiple episodes, but I just recently did a live where I was talking about the Fizz family, Family Fizz, whatever the heck they're called. They never capitalize their eyes. I don't like it. And so I had to take it down just because I wanted to honor the bio dad's wishes. He was supposed to come on the interview and he couldn't because he had some other things to do, and it kind of got put away, and now he's kind of just working on some legal stuff that he needs to work out, which is good. And so that's why I removed the video at his wishes. And so, but today I'm going to kind of just redo that video the way I do videos, okay? Which is exposing dirtball family vloggers. And these, as I've discovered, are one of the worst, like worse than Life, who's one of the worst. I find with these families, it's the one with the older teenage daughters that tend to be the worst, and it's just disgusting what I've uncovered. It's gonna be gross, but let's get into it. I have to throw a basketball for one of my Patreons. Last time it was Melissa Morales. Today it's who are we gonna go with? Katie Keene has been here since July. Ready, Katie? Oh, sorry. Let's get to it. This shit's so crazy, I need notes. And I have tons of notes, and I'm gonna have a screen recording on this side so I can showing you what I'm looking at. First things first, who's a Fizz family, or who's Family Fizz? They are a family of 5, okay, from the UK, and they travel the world. They don't stay in one place. They have 2.36 million subscribers, and their analytics, real quick, bring them up here for you. I won't be able to show you them, so I'm gonna blur them out. The analytics are problematic for this family because, again, whenever it comes down to having a teenage daughter, I find that the analytics get a little bit grosser. So 2.4 million subscribers, and their gender analytics, like their audience gender demographic breakdown, is not as crazy as the Life, which is quite interesting. It's still 16%. And that's 16% of 2.4 million. So you've got 380,000 adult males watching a family vlog. And that's just the family vlog. And they're adults. So the teenagers that watch this are less than 1%, less than almost 0.6%. And the rest of those 380,000 people are adult males, all the way up to the age of 54. Okay, gross. So if you go into her channel, Mia Fizz has a channel called Mia's Life. She has 1 million subscribers and she's 16. Her gender breakdown, 30% male. 5.4% of those are teenagers. So I always like to say, hey, are there teenage boys watching her? Because it makes sense, right? So 5% of 30%. So 25% are adult males watching her. So of 300,000 males, 25% of those 300,000 are adults up to the age of 54 watching a teenager on YouTube. If you go into her Instagram is 500,000, and it's really inappropriate. Okay, her Instagram is very much of an adult, looking very much like Danielle Cohn. She is 16, which is kind of the age of consent in the UK, but it's just really inappropriate. Okay, I get it that girls at 16 dress like this, and so whatever it is. But again, on Instagram, 500,000 subscribers, 24% of those, 76% of her followers on Instagram are male. Okay. 7% of those are teenagers. 93% of the 76%, I don't know the numbers, I'm not mathing, are adult males. Very, very much just like Danielle Cohn, very much like LeBrant's. Her demographics, her engagement analytics show that she's being watched by adult males. Why are adult males looking at a teenage girl on Instagram? Family Fizz, 2.36 million subscribers. Their top videos, all Mia. Similar to the Life, their top videos are about their teenage daughter. The top one of 10 million views is 13-year-old wears a pregnancy bump. Okay, which is obviously a fetishized thing. That is why they get so many views. The next one is Christmas morning, which seems to be a lot of these family vloggers' second or third biggest videos, about just opening exorbitant amounts of gifts and just like people watching things that they can't have, right? Third one is a home birth. Don't show your vag on TVs, just please. We don't need to bring awareness to that. We know that babies are born and where they come from. 6.7 million views. I started my period, Mom. Remember how we talk about how this is just not acceptable? It's not acceptable ever. 5 million views 3 years ago. Getting my nose pierced at 12 years old. Okay? Don't let your 12-year-old pierce their nose. Dumb. Okay? All of their top videos, minus these two, which probably has her in it too, most of their top videos in the top 15 I counted are all about Mia. So what does that tell you? It tells you that she is the main draw to this channel. Why is she main draw to this channel? Because of the way that she looks and because creepy guys are staring at her and doing this. There are playlists about her, obviously, and obviously they do the fetishized pregnancy bumps, the massive pregnancy. Looks like she has 4 kids in there. It's just all really, really fetishized, all very much hypersexualized for their teenage daughter, and all about basically what the Weiss life does. All these families do the same stuff. She's in a bikini. The mom is in the bikini half the time with the daughter in a bikini half the time. And so a lot of this is just her and her daughter. It feels like that Georgie is the mom, feels like she's living vicariously through her teenage daughter, trying to be the cool mom and all that stuff, and just was a teen mom herself at 16 years old. And so obviously is still a young person with kids, and they found a way to do this. And so we got to dig into the family. So recently I've just realized that Georgie's marriage video is deleted, and 16 and pregnant video has been deleted, and anything that mentions Mia's bio dad has been deleted recently. So I don't know what's going on there. There is some stuff happening in the back end. I am in contact with Mia's bio dad, but it has nothing to do with this video. I won't be saying his name. I won't be referencing him. Nothing that I have here informationally came from him at all. This is all my own research that I've done by going to Tattle Life and all these other places and people emailing me. This is a very problematic family, okay? So the Fizz family travels the world. They have been to Dubai, Mexico, Bali, UK, and United States, just what I found. And that's not even it. So the problem with the Fizz family is that they have kids and none of them go to school. Okay, so that's a problem. I'm not saying that homeschooling is right or wrong. I'm just saying these kids don't actually even get a homeschool education. They don't even do that. From what I've realized and from my research has told me is that they barely do any work during the day, and they use excuses like she's writing a coloring book for English and all this stuff, and they do like 10 minutes of math. They can't spell. They actually have terrible educations, because what I'm realizing now that my kids have been home for a couple of weeks for homeschooling is that you have to be one-on-one with your child. It's not go do your work, learn it yourself. You need to teach your kid. Homeschooling is not simple. For all the times I make fun of homeschool kids, one thing stands true for all the homeschool kids I have ever met in my life. They're all freaking brilliant. Like crazy smart. Now, that's because the parents have taken one-on-one attention and done the right curriculums and everything else. They might be socially awkward, yeah, most of the time, but they are all actually very smart. That's for sure. Like, that's one thing I can tell you. And so what they're doing here is they're using the excuse of homeschooling their kids so they can make content. But their kids are just like, oh, here, go read the book and do the thing. They're not actually learning anything. They don't have tutors, nothing. And so they're not getting an education. So there's no stability in moving all over the world. As a person who moved over 35 times in my life, I can tell you right now, that is one of the most detrimental things you can do to a child. Very bad. Now, I'm not saying moving here and there. Military families struggle with this, and I'm not saying it's the worst thing you could do, but it is actually super detrimental to a child to move as many times as they have, to different cultures too. And then they apparently get really upset when people don't speak English, and they just go to places like Dubai that is not very women friendly. You know, the rules are different, and it's just a scary place to be, where they all are in different places. Now they're in Mexico. They landed in Mexico, and that's where they are. It needs to be said that the bio dad, they are literally living abroad without his permission. He has custody to a degree, okay? And they are living abroad. Mia has not seen her bio dad in over 5 years. And so I'm going to talk today a little bit about parental alienation and what that means, what it's looking like in this situation. And so they have left the country of UK, came back a couple of times, and Mia has said in her vlogs she does not want to see her bio dad. Okay? But we got to talk about what that means when it comes to parental alienation. We'll get to that in a minute. One of the main tinfoil hat conspiracies with this family is that they're on the run for something. Now, someone had pointed out on Tattle Life that their business is failing in the UK or something. They're owed back taxes or something like that. And a lot of the conjecture as well is that when you live in places that don't have taxes, you live tax-free exempt lifestyles, right? Dubai, Mexico, they were in Bali, the United States not so much. You have to pay taxes when you live there, but not necessarily if you're just visiting. I don't think you have to pay taxes if you're not actually a resident, right? So they're literally nomads living where they go, and they don't pay taxes anywhere. So that's my conjecture. I don't know if that's true or not. Not sure if you are a resident of the UK, you have to pay taxes to a degree. I'm not sure the rules, but I'm sure they get around it, right? They live very decadent, exorbitant lifestyles. They rent houses. They don't own a house. They rent rental properties. They rent like beach properties, and they live very expensive, non-sustaining lifestyles, okay? Another thing that really gets me about the Fizz family is that they have so little because they live minimal, but they don't. They actually just buy tons of presents and gifts and everything else, and then when they move to the next place, that shit's all gone. They have to reset and do everything. Not conducive for a good, strong childhood, right? Just not. I'm sorry. No matter what you could think. Traveling with your kids all over the world when they're not getting an education might give them world-class, like, geography lessons, but it doesn't give them any social skills. They don't make any friends, deep lasting relationships. They will suffer when they get older because they don't even know how to make a deep and long lasting relationship because they have none. Okay? They won't have any childhood toys or memories or school friends or connections to anyone but their shitty parents. And that's what sucks. Their parents are their friends. They're not their parents. Okay? The parents are just using them to create content. And that's all these kids are for. Right? So they have to do content with their kids in order to sustain their lifestyle that they lived. And at the rate they're going, unless they have some crazy investments, when they get canceled off this channel, it's going to be soon, right? Or when they get sued or whatever the case may be, they are going to fall apart because what are they going to do? They don't even have a house to live in. If you fall apart and live the way that they live, so exorbitant, and everything falls out from under you with no backup plan, your kids are the ones that are going to suffer from that. You will literally be homeless. One of the things that pisses a lot of people off about this family, including myself, is that they live very sheltered lives and yet give people tons of life advice. Like, they don't see anybody, they don't have any friends, the kids don't, and they're always giving out life advice to people. Like, just the shittiest life advice you've ever heard. Now, again, a person's past does not dictate who they can become or who they are now. Yes, for sure. It is important to say, though, that these two people, the Fizz family, Darren and Georgie, are ex-drug addicts and didn't really make any good decisions in her life leading up to this point. Obviously, she was pregnant at 16 and then has just gone into vlogging right after that. At 5 years old, they started doing this stuff. She met Darren after divorcing the bio dad and then, you know, went on and started doing vlogging, right? So they didn't really make any choices. Apparently Georgie does have a college education and regrets getting it. I'm gonna talk about the one thing that has pissed me off about this, and I'm gonna dig into what's called parental alienation. Is when one parent discredits the other parent to a child that they share. For example, the mom tells the child that their dad doesn't love them or want to see them, or a dad tells his child that their mom prefers the new family over them. Accusations can be mild or they become incredibly severe. This distorts the child's perception of the alienated parent, regardless of how great the relationship was with that parent before. Basically, the parent-child relationship suffers when the allegations are true or not. If a child is repeatedly told, for example, that a dad is a bad person and they don't want to see them, even if it isn't true, the child will eventually refuse to talk or see the dad when the opportunity arises. Simple psychology. It's very simple to train a child to do something. Kids can learn languages easy. Their psychology is developed from the point, you know, their whole life. The way that you build, the things that you build into them, that becomes their personality traits. When one parent has 5 years to tell their daughter about how bad their father is, that right there, to me, 100% parental alienation. Here are the signs of it. And this is important. The child constantly and unfairly criticizes the alienated parent, sometimes called a campaign of denigration. Mia Fizz did this on the videos that they've recently deleted where she's been asked questions about, like, your bio dad, and I don't like him, I don't want to see him, I don't want to do this. Recently, Georgie made a post on Instagram alluding to something that bio dad did, not telling anybody what it was, and saying Mia doesn't want to see her dad. This is a campaign of denigration, leaving it open for people to make their own assumptions, and then she was forced to delete that. Something tells me that's going to come back to bite her in the ass big time, because that's slander. Okay, the child doesn't have any strong evidence, specific examples, or justifications for the criticisms, only false reasoning, and that's it. This dad, the bio dad in this case, has made videos that have recently been deleted where he's reaching out to her saying happy birthday. He just wants to talk to her, just wants to be in her life, and can't, and there's no reasoning for it. He came out with a video that said, I'm not this drug addict or this alcoholic that you guys say I am. And his dad vouched for him and everybody in his life vouched for him. He's like, I'm not that person and I want to clear my name. And he came out and did that and had something like 50,000 views. The child's feelings about the alienated parent aren't mixed. They're all negative with no redeeming qualities to be found. Again, Mia Fizz's videos where she talks about her bio dad all have that. They all have those signs and symptoms that she's saying. What they're saying there, she's doing that. That is parental alienation 100%. The child claims the criticisms are all on their own conclusions and based on their own independent thinking. When in reality, parental alienation is the alienating parent is said to program the child with these ideas. That's exactly what's going on. The child has unwavering support for the alienator, right? Her mom and Darren. The child doesn't feel guilty about mistreating or hating the alienated parent. And that's Mia Fizz just laughs about it. No, I don't like him, and she has nothing. She nothings it. It's crazy. The child uses terms and phrases that seem borrowed from adult language when referring to situations, and Mia Fizz has done that. The child's feelings are hatred towards the alienated parent expand to include other family members related to that parent, for example, grandparents, cousins, or the other siblings. One thing you need to know about Mia Fizz is that she has other brothers and sisters that she doesn't get to see, that she doesn't want to see, because the parents have literally programmed her to hate that side of the family. And here's why. Because Mia Fizz is their paycheck. Mia Fizz is the reason people come to their channel. Mia Fizz is everything to them. All the money that she makes feeds that family. Helps them travel during a pandemic, by the way. Helps them buy all the expensive things they want. And they break phones and they do all this shitty clickbait stuff. And it's just insane. Mia Fizz is the draw to this family because predators are watching this shit. Gross dudes are watching this stuff. And they know it. They know their analytics. And it is disgusting. And the problem here is you got a bio dad in the mix who does not want that for his daughter. Who has no say and should, because he does have rights. Okay? And so what's happening is, allegedly, basically, if the law is correct, Mia Fizz has been kidnapped from the UK and has been living overseas for the last 5 years all around. I think they came back once, and has been living all around in different countries, all over the place, not having a normal childhood at all, and has basically been, for all intents and purposes, kidnapped. It's going to come to a head sooner or later, okay? So that's the one thing. When you have custody, when you share custody of a child, you're not supposed to take them out of the country. Now, I know specifically BioDad has said at one point he gave them permission once to leave for a vacation. And then ever since that vacation, they just never came back. They never asked for permission again. Now, that's conjecture. I don't know, but that seems like what's happening here. They just assume that they could go forever, but that's not the case. So in the end, I think BioDad needs to formally ask, either through a lawyer or whatever, to have them come back. And so they're going to have to come back. Or at least Mia will. But I think in the end, it doesn't really matter at this point because she's 16 and the judge will say, well, she's 16, she can make her own choices. And of course, she's going to go with the choice where she lives a decadent, lifestyle where she doesn't have to go to school, have any responsibilities, or, make tons of money. Of course, she's going to choose that lifestyle. Who wouldn't, right? And so the BioDad's been left out of this whole situation because they are exploiting their daughter and they have no choice because this is how they live this lifestyle they live. What are they going to do to make this kind of money if they weren't on YouTube? They are terrible people and they're exploiting their daughter. Like every single top video, almost every single one is about Mia. And if it's not about that, it's about giving birth. It's very, very inappropriate. At some levels, I think even there's videos where mom rates my bikinis, and we're going to find those in a second. There's just a bunch of disgusting, it's all the same. It's like hauls, it's like pregnancy tests, it's Christmas morning opening presents. None of this shit is valuable. Saying yes to everything Mia wants for 24 hours, that's a great parenting blog. Just like, and it's kids who are watching. That's what they think. They think kids are watching it. Not the case, according to the analytics that are watching it. Unless it's kid watching on their parents' accounts, which does make sense. And if that's the case, they're influencing kids, and that is dangerous. Because look at this video here. Baby's girl named Rivia. She's holding up her shirt. Why is it all blanked out? Like, this family is grossly inappropriate. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit more. So I want to get into why I think Darren is a problem on this channel. A lot of people think he's just like the passive dude. He's just in the background. He's not in a lot of videos. He does a lot of filming and a lot of the editing. Probably most of it until they could have afforded, whatever, until they could afford not. So we're going to go to Mia's channel. So Mia Fizz's channel is 1 million subscribers. She has 2 books. One's about, I don't know, puberty and stuff, and one's a coloring book. And they apparently best selling whatever, okay? But if you go into her videos, Mia's Life videos, and you go to sort by most popular, here's what you get. Speaking only Spanish to my family for 24 hours. That's cool, I guess. And then the next one is top 5 boob struggles. 2 years ago, she was 14 years old. Now, Mia Fizz, it has to be said, is a developed young lady, for lack of a better term. Okay, she looks like an adult for Okay? And that's probably why she gets as many views as she does, because she looks like an adult. Maybe you guys don't realize that she's an underage teenager. But my top 5 boob struggles, not appropriate. And here's why. Because it's not her editing these videos. It's not her making these thumbnails. It's Darren. Now, Darren is not her biological father. Darren is a problematic past. Darren is the one making these videos. Darren is the one probably giving her the ideas. Look at this. I got to zoom in for a little bit here. Her mom is basically naked in every video, by the way, in every thumbnail. Doing the opposite, everything mom says. Convince sister she's invisible. I try cupping for the first time. She's 15 and she's naked on the thumbnail. The dad is making these thumbnails. Convince sister we're not related. Trying to look 18, so dressing basically like is because as soon as you turn 18, you dress like a thought. Is that what it is? As soon as you turn 18, you can dress like a dirtball. I don't get it. I don't understand that logic. My first time using a tampon. That is so gross. Why do you need these videos? Mom reacts to my Fashion Nova bikinis. Okay, getting my eyebrows tinted. She's 14. I wore really long acrylic nails. I lived my entire day in alphabetical order. Period. Expectations. Again, these thumbnails are gross. Okay. Asking my mom uncomfortable things. Boobs, thongs, tampons. What age should I lose my virginity? This is what kids are watching. Okay. The scariest part here is this is what young girls are watching. They want to be like her. And this is the scariest thing ever. Ate 3 times my pregnant mom's diet for a day. Just unbelievable. Transforming myself into a goth. Got her 2 middle fingers up. That's great parenting. Great parenting. The dad makes these thumbnails. The stepdad. Okay? I'm moving out. She pranks her sister a lot. I got a professional spray tan. She's in a bikini. Okay? Getting my bra fitted. Weiss Life. Probably copied them for that. Again, just insane disgustingness. Okay? She makes a lot of money on her channel. Giving my sister the talk. Periods, body hair. When will I get boobs? At a 9-year-old girl? This is not for the world to consume. And the dad is making this. The stepdad is making this. I don't want to get into the whole lifestyle that they lead, like vegan lifestyle, and that she has, there's been problems in people, and I'm not saying this to shame her, but she has a massive amount of acne. And part of that, and again, because they travel so much and all these things, she just covers it up with makeup and they're not getting it treated. And there's just so much that goes into the health of these kids. I'm not saying a vegan lifestyle is not healthy. I'm saying it can be healthy, but I think their lifestyle in general is not conducive to health for the way that they live. I'm just sorry it doesn't work that way. And the way that this girl is being raised is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Like at least when it comes to Gabrielle Weiss, she doesn't want it. This girl wants it every step of the way. And she perpetuates this, but her stepdad, Darren, is the one that exploits this and makes videos like top 5 boob struggles for a 14-year-old girl. I'm sorry, but if I was divorced from my wife and I had a 14-year-old daughter and that stepdad was making videos like this, I would be going to the house. I would be calling the police. I would fight tooth and nail to get her out of the situation, because she could be being targeted by predators. They live in Mexico. You know how dangerous it is to live in Mexico? Okay, if they're being targeted. Mexico is like probably one of the, I don't know if this is right. Maybe I watched too much of that show, but Mexico has one of the highest rates of people being kidnapped, like wealthy people being kidnapped for ransom. Okay, just saying, where they live is not safe, and she's a target because she's famous. Okay, just gross. I know there's so much. So Mia's hypersexualized. Mia spends her time babysitting and not getting an education at all, which is scary. Has no friends, 0 friends, and is exploited by her parents in a very sexualized way for a very long time. Okay? She dresses super inappropriately. Her Instagram is disgusting. Don't go look at it. Her TikTok's the same. I know you're 16, and I guess girls are like this way, I guess, but in the same breath, when the parents are the ones doing it for money, that's where it gets icky, right? And again, how does she write a book on her life experiences when she has no life experiences? Her life experiences include getting in front of a camera every single day, making content. There is no friends in her life. She has no influences except for her parents. No teachers, tutors, no dance teachers. I don't know, nothing in her life except for her self-absorbed parents who are way too young for their age because they just haven't grown up, and they're milking it for every penny, and it's about to dry up. Okay? Segue into Darren a little bit more. So Darren was a used car salesman in the UK, an ex-drug addict, which is, it's fine. If you get clean, congratulations for doing better with your life. But has no education, is now an influencer. It's just a parental influencer where they literally exploit their children. That's it. He went from being a nobody with no education, drug addict and all these stuff, to being like now just basically pimps out his family. So nothing has changed. He hasn't gotten better at all. Just keeps making bad choices, you know, that affect other people, and they don't care, right? He sells overpriced merchandise on their channel, like the dumbest t-shirts. I think they're being sued by Roxy because they stole their logo, or not sued, or just been told to cease and desist on selling this one design they have because it was a ripoff. Living in very expensive rental mansions, Dubai, Mexico, USA, all these places. There's no investment that we know of. Okay, that is just throwing money out. You're just living vicariously, and it doesn't seem like they're being smart with their money, because people who come from no money, like myself, when you come into money, they tend to do really bad things with the money, or be very dumb with it. Does that make sense? Like, people who don't come from money, who all of a sudden come into money, are just bad with it, because they never understood the value of it. They don't understand, and then they buy all the things they never got before, and these people live like that. They're crazy. Darren came into the picture when she was 5, definitely not her dad. And the family, the one thing that pissed me off, one of the biggest things that pissed me off most with this family, is that they're a family vlog, they're watched by children, but they're sponsored by a gambling company. Just nothing here is genuine. Nothing is about family. It's all about exploitation. Again, if this was my daughter and I was in a if I was in a co-parenting situation and the stepfather was doing videos like this, it would be the end of that. I don't think any parent worth their salt would allow this to happen. My first time using a tampon story? Are you kidding me? The issue is that she doesn't in the world, she has no friends anyway, nobody to influence, she can't be bullied because she doesn't go to school. They literally live off, like, basically live in hotels. They have a cleaning lady, they have a personal chef, and they have a nanny. So these parents don't even take care of their kids. And when the nanny's taking care of them, they're out doing vlogs of the baby, right? And they live like, I don't even know how, like, again, they probably make a bunch of money. But in the end, if you're living at that level above your means, what happens when this falls apart? You're going to go back to selling cars? What are you going to do? Okay, they are literally going to be screwed when family vlogging is finished. And it's going to be finished. Talking to your mom about thongs, tampons, and boobs, nothing wrong with that. Not in front of a camera. How about that? Not in front of a camera. And it's like they get tons of views and they know what they're doing. I mean, vegan lifestyle, where they try to be like, well, it's for the environment, right? They don't do it for anything else except for the environment, right? They're like, we do this because our footprint's important, blah, blah, blah. By taking one return long haul flight a year, each person can save 1.68 tons of CO2, okay? While going vegan apparently saves the equivalent of 0.8 tons of CO2 per year. So the data suggests one holiday cancels out a year or two of people going vegan in terms of emissions. And this is a 4-person family flying all over the place for vacation. They literally live in a vacation spot and then take vacations. It's unbelievable. Their whole life is a vacation. And this is not good for kids. And they're on the run from something. I don't know what it is. And if they were living in the UK, the CPS or whatever they have, the equivalent, should be called on them. These kids are being literally abused because they're not being raised properly. That's the issue. They're not getting an education. They're being influenced by their parents, who are basically teenagers themselves, or acting like teenagers. They live in countries that are dangerous. They have literally taken Mia illegally and live in these places illegally. It's basically kidnapping. There's so much going on here. It's the scariest thing you've ever seen. And their fans are just like, yeah, it looks good, keep doing it. They are target number one, as far as I'm concerned, for shutting this type of thing down. They are disgusting because what they're doing is illegal. Having Mia out of the country for those 5 years since she's seen her father is illegal. I'm pretty sure the bio dad has legal recourses he doesn't even know about yet. In leverage he has no idea about yet. And so I'm hoping he's taking the legal avenue to get this right. We were going to have an interview the other day, and then he decided to go look for some legal advice first before he came on, and good for him. And what we have here is allegedly parental alienation based on the description I gave you of that, okay? And it cannot be argued, because apparently she had a great relationship with her bio dad before they left for 5 years. And all of a sudden now she hates her bio dad. For what reason? He hasn't done anything to her. He hasn't said anything. He's just been trying to reach out to her to tell her he loves her. And now she hates him for that? So there's going to be some stuff that's going to come out. These people have a lot to protect, and they likely will do crazy things to protect that because they don't have anything else. If Mia Fizz comes off this channel, this family falls flat on their ass. She is the reason, and there's the proof in the pudding as to why they are as big as they are. And that is disgusting. And for those people who watch this channel, you disgust me. These parents who exploit their children for the whole world to see for their whole lives out in the internet forever. Mia doesn't want an education either. She says she's going to continue to be an influencer. So 1 million subscribers at 16 is a lot. She's going to make money and she's probably going to continue through. But when all that fades away, or she says something wrong or does something stupid because when she turns 18 and wants to do her own thing, a lot of these people, like, I think that influencer culture is about to just have a wave of people just like, no more. It's going to be this giant movement about anti-influencer culture. It's getting out of hand. It's getting disgusting, right? And I think there's going to be this massive movement in putting all your eggs in an influence basket. Say, oh, I'm 16. I'm just going to be an influencer for the rest of my life. No, you're not. One thing can happen. You be canceled. People get canceled every day for saying and doing stupid things. You know, one dangerous thing could happen. You live in a country that is very dangerous right now, and you're there legally. That is the Fizz family kind of in a nutshell. I don't want to get into the other kids, but I'm going to be breaking down a lot of their videos because these parents are disgusting. And this Darren guy, there's something there that really creeps me out. And as a father myself, Darren, if you're listening, you probably are, dude. Get your shit together, man. You are supposed to be a stepfather and a dad to these kids, and all you're doing is exploiting them with boob struggles. Your 14-year-old daughter, your 14-year-old stepdaughter, boob struggles. You don't think that looks creepy to other dads and other parents out there? You know that what you're doing is wrong and disgusting. And so please do yourself a favor and stop. Okay, Mia, if you're listening to this video, please understand something. What your parents are doing to you is inappropriate. The hypersexualization of who you've become on the internet is gross, and I don't think you understand how you might be targeted in this way. Okay, I don't think you understand how much money you make your parents. I don't think you understand the leverage you have, and that you should probably really try to focus on your education, and please don't go down this route. I know you're not gonna listen to me because what am I? I'm a stupid old balding douche on the internet who you think I hate you. But what your parents are doing is wrong, and I hope that you understand that. Please speak to different adults. Speak to different people in your life that you trust. Grandparents, aunts and uncles, I don't know. Speak to other people that will give you a different perspective on what is happening in your life. I cannot believe the people in your life, Mia, except for your bio dad and their family, have just let this happen. Who lets this happen around them? I think that you guys are on the run from something, and it's going to catch up to you soon, and that's going to affect you, Mia, for your future if you want to be an influencer. If your parents are doing something untoward or illegal, it's going to affect you in the future. Fizz family, get your shit together. Get your ducks in a row, because your house of cards is about to come tumbling down. And it's going to get crazy, and the only people you're going to hurt are your children. You guys are disgusting. And for what you're doing, Darren, is disgusting. If we ever meet at a YouTube conference someday, I hope to come shake your hand, look you in the eye, and tell you you're disgusting, and I will. Because what you're doing is absolutely atrocious. You're not even her dad. Dads all over the world and parents all over the world see what you're doing. And parents who actually let their kids watch this shit, stop it. This is absolutely terrible. You are now, like, basically target number one for me. I will do whatever I can in my power to make sure that you guys are exposed for the liars and fakes and frauds that you really are, and the exploiters that you are, and the disgusting things that you are doing with your teenage daughter. Maybe start investing some of that money right now. Put it all away. Because again, this shit's about to go down. When I see parents who are young exploit Jess fam, I'm gonna get into Jess fam too, because she's the same boat. All these parents don't have anything else except to exploit their children, and they don't give a flying rat's ass. They don't give a shit. And the conversation is happening, and they still they double down. No, this is not exploitation. No, this is 100% exploitation. Said from clinical psychiatrists, from many articles. This shit is happening, families. You know what you're doing is wrong. You know the tide is turning. Everybody sees it. I'm so excited that this conversation is happening. You guys are about to get what's coming to you. The only thing we're really going to be able to do at this point, guys, is lobby YouTube to continue to say stop. But I mean, even Mia now would be an age of consent, but now they have 2 younger kids coming up, and they're going to do the same thing for them. They'll probably have more kids. We have to figure out how to stop these families. So maybe we need to start targeting their advertising and their sponsorships and say, I'm no longer going to buy anything you target through a family that is exploiting a teenage daughter in a hypersexualized way. I'm done with that. And shame on brands who support families like this, who is just disgusting. A kid with no education, with no home, with no friends, with no foundation whatsoever, and they're just like, yeah, this is what we do for our life. That is not cool, and is just not conducive to a good childhood. It is not conducive to growing up normal, and these kids are going to be severely damaged. And Mia might be past the point of no return as far as I'm concerned. So follow me on Instagram, everybody, because that's how my voice gets louder in this situation. And this situation is dire. Okay, We need to focus on this family. We need to put all of our focus on figuring out how we can get this family to stop exploiting their children. I don't know how we're going to do it. Head over to the Problem with Family Vloggers - the DCP. We got some ideas. We're going to start pursuing those ideas and going down. I guess we got to go down the advertising route. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions from anybody. I have a feeling deep in my heart the Fizz family is about to get what they deserve. I can't tell you why I know that. I just have a feeling. And so the kids are the ones that are going to suffer in the end. And that really sucks. So Fizz family parents, do what's right for your children. Stop this bullshit. I will see you guys tomorrow.